Hello everyone and thank you for joining. This is your friend David Butanda, and before I start I want to thank you all for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be checking the topic reorder point, and this beautiful graph represents closely what happens in reality in the companies. So we have the axis of quantity. It means the amount or level of quantity that we have in stock of a certain item, and the time, and this is closer to the reality in the companies because sometimes the stock is not consumed, and that is represented with these constant lines, and sometimes the stock is more consumed in a certain date than in other. For example, here we have a higher consumption than in this specific period. Also, the consumption occurs through all the time until a certain point of quantity when we raise a purchase order to the vendor, and the vendor replenish this stock, and this is considered the lead time. This lead time must be equal to the rest of the consumption in the time so that we can maintain low stock and a great service level. And we normally raise a purchase order and not a production order because we use this kind of planning strategy for materials that are not link each other. I mean, no items in the bill of materials, no items for production. For production, we use materials requirement planning, which is a different planning strategy. Okay, so once I said that, I would like to introduce you to the topic in SAP. I want to use the transaction code MM60 to check all the items that we have available in a certain plant. So we can select what materials we want to see or what plants we want to see. So currently I want to check plant ZIB, what items are created and that are evaluated also. So I click on execute, and here we can see all the items created under the plant ZIB and the material type. For this case, I am going to be using material type HAWA, which is trading product. And with this, it means products that are purchased to vendors, which are acquired to vendors, and then these products are sold to different customers. So there is no transformation involved. So for the same, there is no materials requirement planning in these scenarios. We use normally reorder points. So once I check MM16, I can see here that HAWA, I will pick, for example, this one X5. With this one, I will copy and I will create X27, which is not created yet. So if I go to Material Master MM01 for the center, I can enter Material X27. It will show no results found, which means that this material is new. Industry sector, I will go for mechanical engineering, and material type I am using is HAWA. We already checked for trading goods, and I want to copy from material X5 that I already checked. It is maintained under plant ZIB. Press continue, and I want to copy basic data 1, the sales view, also the purchasing view because this is a trading product, MRP views, and also the forecasting if we want to activate the reorder point, and accounting one. Press continue, and I want to create this X25 in the organizational structure plant ZIB, storage location ZIB, sales organization ZIB, and distribution channel Z5. That is already created in exactly the same organizational structure, storage location, distribution channel, and sales organization. So I am copying exactly the same values I have in the left to the right. Right? So now press continue, and I am creating material X27. So I will change the description, trading product X27, and I want to keep the values as they are. Basic unit of measure PCE, material group 1, gross and net weight are okay like they are. Now the output tax, here I select one for this material. This plant is the one that is delivering this material, and the material group is 01. It's okay like that. Here we only select the item category group. This is just for the item category selection for the sales orders. Continue. Here we have again the availability check, the base unit of measure, gross and net weight, and the shipping data, which is transportation group and loading group, and these two are used to the shipping point determination. So let's press continue. Profit centers we are not using for now. Continue. And here in purchasing view, it is necessary that we maintain the purchasing group, otherwise we are not going to be able to create purchase orders. Let's continue. And this is the one that we need to pay more attention. The MRP type PD is for materials requirement planning, for deterministic, for production in-house. So since we are not producing this is a trading product, I will select B2, which is automatic reorder point with external requirements. And I want to show you how it is configured. So I open a new session and I go to SPRO, press enter, then SAP reference IMG, scroll down until production menu, open it, then go to materials requirement planning, then go to master data, and finally check MRP types. Here we need to look for B2 automatic reorder point with external requirements. Now, if I click on details, we are going to be able that this is the MRP procedure is B, which is reorder point planning. And the advantage of this one is that it includes external requirement. And what external requirements are, let me press F1 here. So it means that we'll consider sales order or manual reservations. I will show you in a graph what it means. It can also include safety stock or reorder point. I am not selecting safety stock because I want to keep the amount the lowest possible. Okay, so close this one, and I will show you in the graph what external requirement means. So if we are in a specific time and quantity, maybe a customer order arrives, and that customer order will pick all this amount. So it is not necessary that we wait for the logistics execution and the delivery of this amount to generate a purchase order. If the system already know, if we already know that this quantity does not belong anymore to the company, we can raise the PO immediately. So that is the advantage of external requirement planning. So let's check that in the system also. So here I have selected P2, I can press continue. You have not specified a reorder point, that's fine because it is automatic, it will be calculated by the system itself. Press continue. We need to pay attention also here, the planned delivery time is 10 days. It means it will be considered at the time of the reorder point calculation. Press continue. MRP3 and MRP4 are not very relevant for what we are performing now. The forecasting view is, on the forecasting view we need to go to consumption values, and here we are currently on October 2021. So I need to enter the consumption of the previous months. And since this is a just created material, I have maintained these values. I will copy them, which are from the previous months, and I will paste them. I will paste them here. I will go back to main data, and here that will be everything. No need to maintain anything here because we are not performing actually forecast. We are actually performing the reorder point, but when I press enter, the system will ask for a model, so I pick whatever is available and press continue. In the accounting view, the valuation class is necessary for the GL account determination, and standard price is for materials produced in-house, and per unit price is for materials which are not produced in-house. Trading products basically, and consumables. We can save this. Press continue and click yes to save it. So the material X27 is created. And now, if I go back to the material master, MM02, the change material master, for this just created material X27, under MRP1 view, where we maintain the MRP type, with this plan and this storage location, press continue. The reorder point is not entered yet. So in order To to calculate the reorder point, we need to execute this transaction. We go to logistics, then we go to production, then we go to production planning, materials forecast, and we have this forecast, individual forecast, and total forecast. MP30 is for a single material, and since we just created one material, we can use MP30. Otherwise, if normally in the reality we'll be using MP38, and this will execute all the materials which are using for either forecasting or reorder points. So let's go to MP30, enter the material and the plant. We are not using MRP areas. Click on execute. Click execute. So we are calculating the reorder point for October 2021. Let's continue. And that's it. It was calculated. This is showing forecast values. We do not need to pay much attention here. And this is for the case that we were using forecast. The thing that is interesting for us now is the reorder point calculation. So let's go to MM02, center for material X27. Again, under MRP1 view, press continue. In this plant and this storage location, press continue. We have this reorder point calculated. And from where it is coming from, well, let me show you more or less. Here we have the total amount consumed within this period, which is this amount, and the total dates. There could be some variation because there are some days off, etc. So more or less, it is 273 dates. If I divide total amount in the total dates, working dates, it will be the consumption of 6.69 quantities per date. If I multiply this per 10, which is the delivery time, I will get 70. I will get 7, sorry. So more or less this 7 is this reorder point. The system will consider some days are not working dates, etc. That is the variance that we are going to have here. So that is basically how the reorder point is calculated. Now, if I go to MD04, press enter, material X27, the stock requirement list, here I can check that currently I am below, I have no stock actually, and I am under the reorder point. If I want to check the reorder point, I can click here and it will tell me which is the reorder point. So the next time I run the MRP, the system will create a purchase requisition in order to go back to the reorder point. Let me show you that. I can go to MD01N and press enter. This is my plan. This is the material I want to run the forecast for. Material scope include all the items. Booms components is not relevant for us. Scheduling is not relevant because we are not planning production, and the planning mode, it is not relevant either. Delete and recreate, there is nothing to delete and recreate, everything is new, so I will go for the first one. So click on execute. The MRP is running, and now if I go back here and I refresh, I will be able to check this purchase requisition, returning me to the original reorder point. Okay, so I can perform the reception of this purchase requisition by double clicking on this purchase requisition and then purchase order. And here I can select and drag to the basket. Then select a supplier. I can search for a supplier based on my purchase organization, which is also set the IBM, and I will pick this first supplier and I will press continue just to perform some validation. The purchase organization is missing. Set the IBM. This is the purchasing group we check in the material master. Press continue. Net price must be greater than 0, of course, nothing is free in life. So net price, let me pick 10, press continue. Now everything seems to be fine, so I can save this. The PO number was created. Let me copy it, close. Now, if I return to the stock requirement list, let me go to the stock requirement list, MD04 presenter, or this material under this plan. The MRP area is not relevant now, so I can delete it. This is now a PO item. Previously it was a purchase requisition, and now let me do the reception of this PO item by going to the transaction code MyGo, press enter, goods received, and I am receiving from a purchase order. With this movement, I place my purchase order, and this will bring the information contained in the purchase order itself. So I am receiving 9 pieces of trading product in a storage location set DIB. I can post this one. You can also check first and then post, but for simplicity I am just going quickly. And then you will have to do the invoice receipt and that, but I will skip that step. Refresh, and now we have the stock. If I run the MRP again in MT01M press enter, I execute again, there is no suggestion, there is no purchase requisition created, there is no plan order, there is no supply element here, and that is because I am in the level that I need. So unless I reduce this amount, for example to 8, let me adjust the inventory to 8 just to show you that. I can open a new session and go to MI10. This is the transaction code to adjust materials. Storage location, set the IBM, press continue, and for X27, reason I select 1, which is a warehouse, quantity I will go for 8, which is below the reorder point. When I press post, I need to maintain the account determination. Let me maintain it so that you can also check this, how to maintain this. You might find these errors also. So what was error saying? For GVB, INT, there is inventory and 3100 valuation. There is no key. So let's maintain that key. We maintain that key by going to OBYC, press enter. Under GBB, my system is already identifying that I am using chart of accounts INT, press enter. For imp and the evaluation class, this one, I will copy. And for my group ZDIB, it is not created. So I am creating the GL account, save. And let me show you what these GL accounts are. This one. Let me show you. You might also need to know how to create them. So I go to FS00, click on the binocular, press the GL account, continue again. Here it is found. Don't lie me, system. GL account, loss inventory difference. This is for the case that when we are doing physical inventory, when we want to compare what is really in the shelf, in the racks, against what is in the system, we perform a physical inventory. And in this case, it was 9 in the system, and I am saying that we have 8. That's why loss inventory difference, we need to create it, and it is primary cost on revenue, a profit loss account. This is how it is configured. I'm just showing you. And this is the cost element category, not selected. Create inventory adjustment accruals. So control data should be primary cost on revenues. It is not selected. Okay, anyway, let's continue. And the other one should be for gains. Let me show you. I go to FS00, that is the contrary. There was less inventory. This is the contrary, gains. There was more inventory than what we had in the system. Gain inventory differences. Okay, so as you can see, this is how the GL accounts are configured, in case you were interested. All right, so let's check now if the system allows me to perform the movement. There it is. You are interested in know the GL accounts. It is also important to know accounting. 230. Let's check it. I am entering 8 pieces. Previously I had 9, so this should be a loss in inventory. So I will go to transaction code MB51. This will show me the materials movement for a specific material, in this case X27. With this plant, I can also select that, remove the supplier. I'm not interested for now. We can check this movement -1 piece, because the system said I had 9 pieces, but effectively I found 8. So I am reducing 1 piece. Press here. We can go to doc info, file documents, and let's check. Let's analyze the GL accounts. So finished good is being credited. It means we are reducing the inventory, and to reduce an asset, we credit it, and we are debiting a loss in inventory difference. Okay, so the GL accounts are working perfectly. And now, this was too much for accounting now. If I refresh here, I will be able to see that we have only 8 pieces. That's it. We have 8 pieces, and this is below the reorder point that we established. So the system should create a purchase requisition for that piece. Let me do it. MD01. Sorry, no MD01. Just MD01N. Press enter. Execute. There we have. The MRP was run. Execute, and we have for the system will always try to maintain us at the level that we specified, 9 in this case. Well, we didn't specify, the system specified with the consumption that we enter. Okay, so I will delete this one. I will delete and save it, because I will adjust it again in M10 for the same material, X27, reason 1, and I was wrong. Effectively, there were 9 pieces. Someone was in other rack, maybe. That does not happen, right? Okay. So if I go back to MD04, X27, it is 9. So we are in the reorder point. MD01N, run the MRP, will not create any purchase requisition or anything. You can see it. No purchase requisition created. But since we established external requirements, let's create a sales order. So I open a new session, and I go to VA01 to create a sales order. Order type is OR, which is the standard document for sales order. Sales organization set DIB, distribution channel set 5, and division is also set 5. Sold to party, let me find one. Searching by distribution channel and sales org. There are many. I will go for Hyper. Customer reference 01s. We maintain already information for this customer, I guess. Yes, that's why it is coming here. I'm buying material X27 for 2 pieces. Let's continue. Let me check for incompletion log to check if something is missing. Just the pricing. So I will maintain the price in the order itself. Let me enter from on 20, more than what it costs, of course. Now check again, edit, incompletion log. Document is complete and we can save it. So now if I return to the stock requirement list and I refresh, I will be able to see these customer orders, this customer order. And it is not necessary that we perform the delivery. The system will already propose a requisition to cover these two. Let's check that. I will run the MRP, MD01N, press enter, set the IP X27, execute, go back to the stock requirement list, refresh, and there you have it. So that is a functionality of external requirement in the automatic reorder point. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Hope you like it. Thanks a lot for your time.